Hi, and welcome back to Focal Point AFR Talk, this Monday edition. Brian Fisher is my name. Great to have you on the program. Talking about taking care of our own, as the president was saying. We are involved, as you are aware, and this is the final day of our military Bible stick promotion, so I encourage you to take action on this today if you are inclined. We want to get the Word of God into the hands of our nation's military men and women, appropriate thing to do in connection with our observance of Veterans Day. And you can provide for $25, you can provide a free military Bible stick that contains an audio version of the entire New Testament. It's compact, it's rugged, it's small, it's portable. It's about 3.5 inches long, about 1 inch thick. That's why we call it a Bible stick. They're pocket size. They're audio Bibles. They are field friendly. They were designed to military specs. So we make these available. The Military Bible Stick Project makes these Bible sticks available to chaplains, who in turn can distribute them free of charge to members of the military if they receive a request for them. They have thousands of outstanding requests, thousands of members of our military requesting these military Bible sticks, and so they'd like to resupply their inventory so they can put the Word of God into the hands of those who are serving our country. If you'd like to do that for $25, it'll underwrite the cost of one of these military Bible sticks. Go to 800-800-2555. That's 800-800-2555. Or you can go to militarybiblestick.com. Now, let's see where we want to go at this point. Here's some possible good news. President Obama told MTV that he is not going to push for gay marriage in his second term. Not going to do it, which is interesting. I think he's going to hear about this from gay activists. He said, quote, "It would be up to future generations of Americans to implement meaningful reform." So he's saying basically, look, I've done all that I'm going to do. This is up to the states from here on out. And he talks later about leaving this up to the states. It's up to the states to do something about it. For us to try to legislate federally into this area is probably the wrong way to go. So that's President Obama abandoning same-sex marriage for his second term. Speaking of the states, and here, let's drop down. Well, let's play clip 5, Rob. Let's get ready for this because these are sort of connected issues. The Republican Party right now is in crisis. They are at a crossroads. There's much wringing of hands. There's much post-game analysis, a lot of Monday morning quarterbacking, because this was a devastating defeat for the Republican Party. By the way, if you want to weigh in, 888-589-8840, the number to call. 888-589-8840, number to call. Now, whether there even is going to be a Republican Party, I think is going to be decided over the next several weeks, and it's going to depend on how the Republican Party resolves the issue, first of all, of immigration, because that's come to the forefront. The second issue that's going to have to be resolved is going to be the issue of the debt ceiling, and the third issue that's going to have to be faced is the issue of social values. And we've already seen, I talked with you about the fact that marriage did better than Romney in all 4 of the liberal states where same-sex marriage was approved by the voters. Marriage still did better by significant margins than Mitt Romney did. So social issues are not a loser even in liberal states. In fact, the indication might be that if Mitt Romney had made marriage more of an issue in those states, it might have improved his numbers, because marriage outperformed Romney in Maine, Maryland, Minnesota, and in the state of Washington. But the issue that's jumped right on top now, and I think this is going to be the issue that will probably become the defining issue, because this is where all the attention has gone. You've had people like Charles Krauthammer that have gone completely off reservation. They're talking about amnesty. I'll play the soundbite from Krauthammer here in just a second. Sean Hannity's talking about amnesty. On the social issues, Michael Barone, who's a conservative voice, he's talking about abandoning the effort to protect natural marriage. Let's just go to gay marriage and get this thing over with. You've got Karl Rove, has been trying to get as far away from social issues as possible for years. But the issue now that seems to have come into focus is the issue of immigration. Now, let's play the Charles Krauthammer soundbite, because he's a leading conservative voice, and he's abandoned principle here in my mind. And he's abandoned the GOP platform because the GOP platform is very clear about immigration. We need to have secure borders. We need to verify employment. And I'll tell you, if we just did three things, ladies and gentlemen, if we did three things, we could solve the immigration problem. This is all we need to do to solve this problem. Number one, secure the border. We can do that. We're securing the border right now between North Korea and South Korea. If we can secure a border halfway around the world, we can do it here at home. So we don't lack the resources, we simply lack the will. But the law requires us to control the border. Let's just implement the law. Let's build a double-layer security fence across our entire southern border with Mexico. We can do it. We can send a man to the moon. We can send a spaceship to Mars. We can build a double-layer security fence across the entire length of our southern border, and we are compelled by law to do it. A nation without borders is not a nation at all. A nation that doesn't have control of its borders is not a nation at all. So that's just job one. Let's secure the border. And I think it's appropriate to say, hey, we realize there's other problems. These 12 million illegals we've got in the country, we've got a problem. We've got to deal with that. But the first thing, but there's no point in even talking about that. We're not even going to talk about that until we get the border secured. That's job one. We're not going to trade any promises for what's going to happen. We're not going to trade amnesty for a promise that the border is going to be secure. We secure the border first, and it's standalone legislation. Because what people are talking about, well, let's say, let's secure the border, and as soon as we get it secure, as soon as we get the governors of these states to sign off, then we're going to implement this, that, and the other thing. And it's all part of one kind of package deal. What will happen is you'll get the Obama administration certifying that the border is secure. Forget the governors. The federal government will say, yeah, it's secure. Janet Napolitano's out there saying repeatedly the border is more secure than it's ever been. So she'll just certify that the border is secure, or she'll lean on Democratic governors to certify that the border is secure, and boom, the rest of it goes into implementation, even though the border is as porous as it has been for the last 20 years. Now, here's Charles Krauthammer, clip 5. And again, all of this is calibrated on the Republican Party trying to get votes. And I'll explain why that's a ludicrous, why going amnesty is absurd. It's politically insane. What Sean Hannity's talking about, what Charles Krauthammer talking about, it is political idiocy because it simply will not work. Let's listen to Charles Krauthammer first.
And if you show the American people that the 12 million or so illegal immigrants are the last cohort to come into the U.S. because we will control the border, then I think the inherent generosity of Americans, the fellow feeling and the goodwill will prevail. And an overwhelming majority of Americans will say, if you can assure me that this is the last cohort of illegal immigrants and we control the border, well, yes, let's legalize their status. I would give them amnesty, not including citizenship for the generation that came illegally, but legalize their status and not have to live in the shadows. I think it will be a winning position. I argued it on the merits in 2006, not because of the Hispanic vote. But today I think I would get an audience among conservatives as a result of the debacle among the Hispanic vote. We change one policy. We say enforcement and then legalization. And I think we can change the whole dynamic of Republicans and the Latino vote.
Now, the problem with this, the problem with Krauthammer's calculation, and here's the thing I beg you to take away from this next couple of minutes, because this is the takeaway. Where Charles Krauthammer is wrong, and Heather McDonald has done great work on this. She's a terrific researcher and writer. We talked about this some on Friday. But where Charles Krauthammer and Sean Hannity and the other folks that are advocating for amnesty, where they are dead wrong, is that Hispanics do not vote Democratic because of immigration. They vote Democratic because of welfare. I'm going to repeat that because this is the takeaway. Hispanics do not vote Democratic because of immigration. They vote Democratic because of welfare. They come from a socialist country. Those that come from Mexico or other Central American countries, that's what they're used to. They're used to big government. The Roman Catholic Church confuses big government programs with charity. That's why they're all crossed up now on Obamacare. They thought that was Christian compassion, Christian charity to do this monstrous government program and get health care for everybody. And now they're stuck under the thumb of tyranny. So they come from a Roman Catholic country that believes that big government programs are a form of Christian compassion and Christian charity. And that's the reason they vote Democratic, because they want the goodies. They want the handouts. They want the programs. And it's not primarily about immigration. That's why it is a fallacy. You know, and some Republicans are arguing that Hispanics are a natural base for the Republicans. I don't agree with that. I'm looking at a piece here on the Daily Beast. Let's see who wrote this piece. Peter Beinart. Hispanics aren't all that conservative on cultural issues. Republicans are out saying, hey, they're natural allies. They're conservative on all these pro-family issues. But according to Pew Research, half of Hispanics now favor gay marriage compared to 1/3 that oppose it. So they're not natural allies any longer on the issue of natural marriage. And a 2012 exit poll from ABC News showed that Hispanics are more supportive of legalized abortion than the American public in general. So they're not allies with Republicans on the issue of abortion. So the point is they're not allies on social issues any longer. And they are not obsessed with immigration. This is a misread on the part of the Republican leadership. According to Pew, 60% of Hispanics rated the economy as the top issue. After that came health care, the deficit, foreign policy. A U.S., not even on the list, Pew's list there, USA Today Gallup poll this summer, here were their priorities: health care, unemployment, economic growth, the gap between rich and poor. All of those grading out ahead of immigration. And also, according to Pew, 41% of the American people want bigger government, but 75% of Hispanics do. 75% of Hispanics want bigger government. It's not immigration that's their top issue. They want bigger government. Well, who's the party of big government? It's not going to be the Republicans. It's not ever going to be the Republicans. There's sort of an inherent break in the Republican mindset to keep the Republican Party from ever being as big government-ish as the Democrats. So if 75% of Hispanics want bigger government, where are they going to go? They're not going to go to the Republicans. That doesn't matter what you do with amnesty. They're going Democrat for time immemorial. Focal Point, AFR Talk.